All right, we are live. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are, AFWO family. My name is Drea, an administrator of this page, and this is episode 12 of AFWO Speaks. We got the Brave Badge Initiative squad on here right now. Three of the four individuals, but shout out to Brian who couldn't make it, duty calls. But we got Kaylin, Andrew, and Sean on here. So say hello to the people, y'all.
Good morning, family. Good morning, team.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're located.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever y'all are at.
That's right. We appeal to all time zones on AFWO Speaks. As always, Air Force Wingman outreach at gmail.com is the email that you can contact us at if you have any concerns, if you have any situations that you want to bring to us. We monitor that box on a daily basis, and then we also bring it to the group so that everybody can rally around each other and pretty much find the resources that you need in order to get your problem or issue resolved. Additionally, if you go to the top of the page, go to member, and then go to the admin and moderators, then you can click message and you can reach out to any of us as well as you need. So without further ado, I am very excited to talk to these gentlemen right here because Brave Badge Initiative, I will tell y'all that what brought me to bring these guys on is me just basically looking through the page, trying to find individuals to look at, and I think I don't know what post it was. I can't remember either way. I went to the page and it was like, oh man, look at these defenders go. I thought it was awesome. I had to get them on, and I really appreciate y'all coming on. So if y'all don't mind, please tell the people about yourselves individually, starting with Sean.
Cool. All right. I'm currently stationed at Maelstrom. I've been here 4 years. I've been in Air Force for 14. I love what I do. I've traveled a lot. Ever since we started this outreach program, it just felt like we could make a difference. And that was the biggest drive to continue doing what we're doing. And I love what we do every day on how we can help people. And that's just what keeps pushing. That's how we keep pushing. If we can help somebody every day, it just makes everything better. I plan on continuing on my next base here soon and keep driving with the State Brave Initiative and the Brave Badge and keep driving forward.
All right, now, what about you, Kaylin?
Well, first off, thanks, Drea. I appreciate it. Thanks for this opportunity. Thanks to the rest of the AFWO team as well for kind of hosting us and bringing us on board. We're very grateful for what you guys do to the community as well. You guys have had a great launch and have done a lot of incredible things for airmen and cross veterans. So thank you. I appreciate it, truly. So I'm the founder of the Brave Badge Initiative. My role is the big strategic picture and planning and certain activities and lines of effort that we provide to the law enforcement and security forces community. We started this in 2000. The idea came in 2017, but we'll probably get into the background much deeper later on in the interview. But I am at Eielson Air Force Base in Alaska. Originally, of course, a cop, security forces, spent 12 years at a cop, and then I transitioned to the wing as the command chief's exec, and then just recently transitioned as a commandant at our ALS here at Eielson. And I'll be in this special duty for the next 3 years to 2023. So just like Sean, I just hit my 14-year mark, and Sean and I have known each other for many years. One of the reasons why I brought Sean onto this team is Sean and I served in Kyrgyzstan together during a deployment. And I have been a fan of Sean and a friend of Sean for many years, and his heart is always and has always been in the right place. So I knew that he was one of the absolute most perfect people to join this team and bring him. So he is one of the brothers that really make this this daily mission that we do so incredible.
Awesome. And then what about you, Andrew? What you got?
Hi, my name is Andrew. Currently, I'm stationed at Louisiana Tech University in Ruston, Louisiana. I'm on special assignment as an instructor for the AFWO program. So I'm also an AETC, just not ALS. I'm administration by trade, hopefully soon to be security forces. I'm working towards cross training. Yeah, I've been in the Air Force for going on 6 years now. I was stationed with Brian, who unfortunately can't be here today, at Minot Air Force Base, and that's how I made the connection with the rest of the team. And yeah, we've got a lot of great people in this organization that just all we want to do is just help people.
I love it. Shout out to Brian. Shout out to the defenders. Shout out to the admin. Love all the AFSCs that were mentioned on here. So let's get into this interview. Tell me, how did Brave Badge start?
That's a great question, Drea. So the idea of the Brave Badge Initiative started in 2017, but didn't launch for another year. It started actually in Germany. I was stationed in Germany, and a little bit of background, some things about myself is during that time in 2017, I had the support around me was incredible. I had incredible mentors, incredible supervisors, and an incredible team. High performing, hard charging sections, and really an amazing year for my career. But I had found myself adopting a lot of toxic habits, and I had found myself really in a pit where I was overwhelmed with work. I had exhausted every means of my battery, and I could not find healthy coping mechanisms to kind of recharge and to get back to kind of a good plateau of connection and to be able to find mindfulness. So internally, I was struggling hard, and I did not have the bravery to be able to go forward and kind of admit this to a lot of people. I had this fixed mindset where I needed to be a certain way, continue to perform at a certain level, and meet constant expectations. And I couldn't say no to anything. Like, I just kept piling things on my plate. But I desperately wanted to like tell somebody like, hey, I'm struggling. Like I'm in a pit right now. I can't get out of this. It lasted about 6 months. I couldn't tell people like what was going on. I wasn't there. So one day at the gym, I just started brainstorming and kind of like really assessing what was going on and what I had been going through and what I was doing to myself. And I had thought, man, wouldn't it be awesome if we had this platform specifically for security forces or law enforcement, that someone can anonymously go forward, speak to the rest of the community, and receive continuous positivity and support through professional resources, through connection, through sharing testimonies, and finding people that can relate. I thought there's power behind it. There's got to be a way. So I spent like the rest, I PCS'd from Ramstein to Alaska, and I started kind of developing, okay, this is the structure. This is the plan for this. This is how we can do this. And these are the different things that we can provide every single day to these people and to defenders. So I started building the plan, kind of building what it would look like, and went through a formal process, talked to a lot of professionals, a lot of commanders, a lot of chiefs, and then finally went through a formal process of getting it like approved and vetted through a commander, a security forces commander. And there was immediately, just to let you know, huge risks. There are huge risks with what we do every single day because the wrong messaging or the wrong people can really diminish connection with someone that is maybe literally about to commit suicide or going through ideations. So I had to really look at how we do this, talk to many agencies across our wing to see how can this be the most effective to reach our goal and our vision. Went through the formal process, got approved, and there was a lot of doubts. I had many people around me said, this is not going to work. This is a bad idea. You shouldn't do this. But we pursued, and I knew that it would be powerful. So we launched in fall of 2018, and immediately, it was overwhelming. It was so evident that defenders across the globe were waiting for something like this. They were waiting for a platform to anonymously go and speak with people, to share their struggles, to not have a fear of reprisal, to seek help, and to really just hear what other people are going through so that they can find hope and they can find resiliency. So when I started, it was just me, and that lasted a few months, and I could see like, man, this is not going to last. I need support. I need help. So I started kind of assessing like some of the NCOs around me, some of the people around me, some of the defenders that I knew that were incredible. And we actually, even though the team is currently 4 members, we've also had 2 other members that were part of our team that contributed to our team like holistically. They're incredible defenders. We still love them. We still support them. They had other paths in life. And Christian Campy and David Borrego were also part of this team, and they set the foundation of what we're going to do. But yeah, here we are now, and we're here years later from when we started. We're a community of almost 11,000 people, but that's not only cops, that is veterans, that is key leaders within the headquarters of the Air Force, but also family members. One of the biggest pieces that we provide and the things that we do is we communicate directly with family members that were left behind after a tragic event. And that has been one of the cornerstones of what we provide, is talking to family members and seeing what we do. I've been on the phone with literally wives that have lost their husbands to suicide. We've gone to fallen comrade ceremonies, fallen defender ceremonies, and we've represented our platform. We've also given everything we can to them to honor their family member. So where we started and where we are now is like night and day. And I would imagine 5-10 years from now, as we continue on, we're going to even grow even larger. But the big strategic picture, which we'll get to a little bit more here soon, the strategic picture has grown every single day. And the need for our community and what we provide our services has grown. So it's been an incredible journey, and I could not have done this without these gentlemen.
So, Sean and Andrew, like, what made you guys get on board with the Break Badge initiative?
Sean, if you want to go first.
Yeah. Like Kayla said, we've been friends for beyond a decade, it feels like now. And I know he has so much passion and drive for certain things. And when he popped this up, I swear I just shot him a message and was like, I need to be a part of this. Because I don't know, I have this like back burner drive to like help people out. And I've never really gotten to the point that I needed to reach out to anything, dealing with stress and stuff like that. But I knew that I could use that little bit of drive that I have for this passion that I have to help people. And indirectly, like what we can do indirectly is just amazing. So I hopped on board, and from the second I got on, I loved what we were doing. I love that we provide an outreach, we provide material and information and a platform for people to talk and ask questions and voice their opinion, argue if they need to, and put out, their feelings, and give them a space to talk, whether they want to do it anonymously, which is like one of our best tools that we can have, is that you can just reach out to us anonymously, or to be out there with their peers and friends and soups and everything above them and below them, to reach out and just be like, hey, I need help. I have a question. I have an opinion. I have an answer. I have a problem. It just provides that tool. And I love the fact that we can do that. I love that we can give people that platform to talk on. And if they don't even want to talk, at least they can overview and read everything and see what's going on in other people's lives, and can compare and relate and understand they're not alone. No one is alone. There is always somebody on the team, on the page, somebody that's on the page, a spouse, a friend, a family member that they can reach out to or relate to. It's just this endless amount of information and possibilities that, if you're in that darkest moment of your life, like, come look at us real quick, like, give us a chat, give somebody a chat, read something, find a reason to keep pressing on. And I love what we do. And I swear I'll do it forever until I can't do it anymore. So that's it. I just love what we do. And I love that we provide that ability for people to reach out, find that one last little bit of glimpse of hope, like, hey, I got this place that I can go talk to.
What about you, Andrew?
So as we discussed earlier, Brian's the one that actually introduced me to the whole Brave Badge initiative. And even from the start, I knew, like, wow, this is a really great platform that, like, people can come to anonymously. They can vent, they can find people going through similar situations, all sorts of things. And the big thing for me was the same reason why I want to be a cop, is to help people. I want to do something meaningful with my life, and I feel like I'm in a great position to do so. I like to think I'm a very positive person. Um, so to be able to kind of rub that off on other people, so to speak, that positive energy when maybe they need it, or maybe a shoulder to lean on or cry on, it means a lot to me. And I can't even like express how grateful I am for the even the opportunity to be able to bless people's lives, so to speak, with maybe something that might be all that they need to change their mind from committing suicide. Somebody might come onto our page, or maybe they might see one of our magnets or stickers on the bumper of a car or at the gate shack or something. And who knows, maybe they might have been on 12s all week, and maybe they're just super tired and they feel like they can't, they can't handle it anymore. They're tired of it. No one will listen to them. They see our sticker or magnet or name or one of us somewhere on, walking around base or campus or wherever, and they say, let me go look into that. And they see someone that's going through a very similar experience or story. Maybe they go to our Instagram page and they see the inspiring words that we share, and they're like, wow, this is just one bad day. I don't need to let this ruin my entire week or my entire month or life just because I'm going through this really bad day. And that's really what hits home for me. The fact that it's something meaningful to me that I can impact, even if it's just one person, you know that we can impact them.
I love it. I love that this is not just even an internal thing where it's just not about the defenders, but it also can reach outside of that purview. And so it's just purely about the humans, man. It's the humans, no matter what job you're
Absolutely.
doing, okay? No matter what job you're doing, the mental aspect is something that obviously we all need to work on taking care of. But I think most important is just making sure you have an outlet, you have a support system, you have away. Like it is not something that you had to deal with by yourself. So shout out to y'all for that. That's awesome. So what is your hope? What is your goal for this? I mean, do you really know? Because I know that it's, obviously I know for AFWO, we definitely are on similar wavelengths with y'all as far as like hoping that, we don't have to address this suicide issue at some point, but we got to be real with ourselves and just say, okay, at least if we can give people the opportunity to use us as a resource, if even somebody just reaches out and says, hey, I'm having a bad day. That's kind of part of the goal. What is y'all goal for the initiative?
So when we first started this, the goal actually, like everything that we proposed to a lot of senior leadership for them to see, this was actually a grassroots platform that we were hoping we wanted to see the security forces leadership adopt, take, and then they run with it. We thought, let's make the foundation, let's set the program, and then let's actually have the security forces center take it. And it is actually an instilled, embedded, codified program that actually the security forces leadership would run. That was the goal. And the purpose behind that was mental health absolutely connects to readiness. It connects to deployments. It connects to continuous training, but it connects to readiness, the biggest thing, to have a ready, fulfilled force to be able to take on the Air Force's mission. So we thought very strategically. And the very beginning, the reason why we want to have security forces adopt this was it would give MAGCOM security forces leaders, commanders and chiefs, the ability to see the mental health readiness within their regions. So for instance, you take the top cop for PACAF, or the top cop for USAFE, for them to be able to look at mental health readiness, how many suicides they've had in their region, or how many defenders that went to mental health or to counseling, it's for them to be able to engage and see, okay, something's happening in my region where I've got defenders that are seeking a lot of mental health. Maybe training has been too tough. Are we deploying them too much? What is going on? Is there a high divorce rate? Is there a high suicide attempt rate? That was the original plan, was big picture. As time went on, things changed. And now that we have a footprint into a lot of agencies, a footprint and a half, and we have direct communication with the security forces top leadership, we have found that now we are more of a teaming process, that we have so much to offer. and the cobwebs of everything that we're doing every single day are so, I guess you would say, they're so mechanical. There's so many policies and procedures that our team has. We literally have policies and procedures for every single thing we do. We found that we have to keep running this, but we are going to team with these agencies and constantly increase mental health, increase resiliency, and keep moving forward. So in the original plan for it to kind of like start it, give it to somebody, that's changed. We're not leaving. We know we're not leaving. We know that this has become literally part of our lives. And another big shout out, like we give shout out to our family members all the time. Shout out to our wives and our children and our families around us, because these guys that I work with literally, this is a 24/7 platform. So we are literally watching this, communicating with people at night. We're waking up in the middle of the night to make sure that we can answer messages, that we can get with people as best as we can. And we take time away from our families every single day. So the sacrifice is not like us at all. It is the families around us. It's our airmen that also we supervise, because the greater picture is to take 5-10 minutes or an hour or hours if needed, and to talk with somebody that is literally like on the edge of their day. They're literally about to do something that could be regrettable. Or we're talking to the family members that just had their spouse or their loved one commit suicide, and we're taking time to speak with them and see what we can do. So we're not leaving. We're here, and this is the long run. Our goals are big picture, and the number one goal is to increase connection in the security forces community, increase the bravery, decrease the fear of reprisal, diminish it if we can, where defenders can approach their leadership and say, I'm overwhelmed. I can't arm today because I just need to go speak with somebody, but I'm still ready to do my job every single day. I just need to speak with somebody, and to increase mental health as much as we can. The security forces community is strong. Like, we are a brother and sisterhood that wear the coveted blue beret, and we're a community of a unique culture. We have a very unique culture, but that culture can sometimes find a pathway where people can really be toxic. Some people can really hurt others' mental health, maybe not intentionally, but indirectly. And we want to be able to decrease that and really change an entire culture where people are just connected. There's trust at all levels. Testimonies are one of the most powerful things that we provide. And we want people at all ranks to be able to share, hey, I've been through that. I've done that before. I've had this situation come up on my life. So a staff sergeant or an A1C or a lieutenant going through the same thing can find hope. They can find the connection. They can find the bravery to go forward and find rehabilitation and recovery every single day. That's what hints to our hashtag that we say all day long. That's stay brave. That is our hashtag. But our actual motto and what we live by is saving each other to save others. And what that means is we need to save each other as cops, as defenders, so that we can do the job, go back out to our community, and protect our installations and our family members every day.
I love it. I love it, because you know what, y'all are doing, responding to just about everything, any and everything that's out there. Whether it's a disturbance or domestic or
Yeah.
any and everything. And as a first sergeant, I definitely work with y'all a lot on different things. So I see what y'all be doing. So I really like that y'all are trying to basically rally around each other as a AFSC and saying, hey, let's get our stuff together first. Like, let's try to figure out what we can do better, and then we can help other people do better.
Absolutely.
Awesome. So I mean, so has there been any areas where you kind of felt like that, we're not going to be successful in that, or has it kind of been adapting? Have you kind of just had to adapt to the changes? You know what I mean?
So I think, Sean, I'd love like your thoughts on this afterwards, but I don't think we've ever hit a roadblock saying we don't know what to do with this. Like, we have prevented 5 suicides just in our time. We've been on the phone, messaged people directly that were literally, holding guns, about to do it. And we've found where they're at. We've we are able to cross match information so well and find locations where people are at, which is kind of strange. Like, we're not an IT support, or we're not like the CIA or anybody, but we're able to really look at things, find where people are at, and find the nearest resource, even call local law enforcement if we need to. So I don't think we've ever hit a roadblock saying we don't know what to do. What's unique about this team is, before we make any big decision, we always collaborate with each other and always sync up and say, this is the best avenue. This is what's best for the person. This is what's best for the family. And this is what's best for the career field. So every decision we make, we do as a team. And we kind of think of what's the best avenue and the best approach. But no, I mean, it is definitely a lot of normalizing. We have to adopt to a lot of things, because the security forces career field in the past 3 years has changed drastically. It has changed drastically with all the different things that the Security Forces Center has pushed out. So we adopt to what is happening within the career field. Every single year we gauge and we collect data on how many suicides are happening, how many attempts are happening, so on. So we can see, even seasonally, when we know there's going to be more increased tragic events happen. We know when those happen because we've collected the data. And that's one huge thing that we provide, is data to people to show this is what's happening right now in the career field. This is the gauge of the community. This is how people feel right now. And we wrap that up. We send it up saying, like, hey, something's going on. So I don't think we've hit a roadblock yet. We really haven't. We've grown, and we grow every single day, and our outreach grows. And one thing that I think is probably the biggest thing that we need, we're going to do a better job on, is our team needs to grow. So we need some more members. That's going to be a big deal. Just finding the right people to join our team is going to be really key. So that's probably the biggest thing, is the amount of, like, how much is on these guys' plates. We work every single day, and how much that they do. I want to be able, as the founder, I want to be able to take some of that stress off, to share it with other intrusive NCOs, so that they have more time for their families, so that these guys have more time for their personal growth and time for their teams as well. So that is probably the biggest aspect that we need to do a little bit better job, is increasing the actual team itself.
So can people reach out to y'all or go to the Brave Badge page if they are interested in being part of the team?
They absolutely can. And we've had people that have done that before, and we still have their names, and we're looking at what they can provide. We look at things that something that's very big about our team is we look at people that have maybe certain credentials or certifications that say, like, okay, you have something that is good for other people. But we also vet people too. So I didn't know Andrew before this, but 100% I trust Brian, who told me that, hey, this guy would be amazing. And we brought Andrew on immediately after, like, I did an interview with Andrew. It was 100% evident that he was going to be the guy. Sean and I have long background, almost 10 years since our deployment in Kyrgyzstan. Brian and I have known each other since we were in Korea, my second time. And then the other two members that were part of our team, I was friends with them as well. So we kind of vet each other to know, like, okay, we know their personality, we know their family history, we know their work ethic, we know where their heart is at. And we kind of go through a process to make sure that they are the right people every time.
Okay. Well, I definitely want to plug that into, like, if people are interested in being a part of that initiative, they can definitely reach out to y'all for that. I understand it's a vetting process, of course, but it never hurts to try. The worst people can say is no, not right now, or you can get another opportunity doing something else within that spectrum. So just want to put that out there. So shifting that to mental health experiences, okay, as individuals, you know, what has been y'all experiences with mental health, good or bad?
You guys take it, Andrew, Sean.
Like I was saying earlier, like, I don't have, I guess, an actual event in my life that I hit a peak or anything like that. But being a supervisor, mentoring airmen, and being around my supervisors, my mentors, and everything, you run into the situations. You know, people are going to have problems in their lives, and you learn to help them cope with it and deal with it and everything like that. And I think that builds you up to better handle situations in your life as well, and to cope and to work through, you know, stressful situations and mental health experiences, you know, or situations per se. And then that's kind of what builds me up to be able to try to help more people. And if I can't, that's what I love about this team is that I can push it out to the team or, hey, go to the page, check it out. You know, if you're experiencing something that they're experiencing, you can relate on a level with them. 99% of the people on our page that are on there will be like, shoot me a message, you know, contact me privately. Let's talk. Here's my number. You know, I'll PM you right now instead, you know, like I'll reach out to you. So what I love most about our platform is I know we want to build our team up more, but what we inadvertently do is we find other people that are ambassadors.
Yeah.
That they indirectly are ambassadors to the platform because they are now reaching out to people. They are pushing it out to their airmen, their supervisors, their mentors, their leaders, their people above and below them, you know, or peers with them, their family members. They're pushing out. It essentially started off as a defender only type thing, and then boom, it kind of blossomed into this network of being able to reach out to anyone. You know, it doesn't matter what your AFSC is. It doesn't matter if you're in the Air Force or in the Marines or whatever, a family member, a friend, you can be like, look, I got help and I can lead you in a direction to get better help. You know, you're voicing out, let's talk. You know, let's get it out. Let's get it all out there so you're not doing this alone. And that's one of the best things I like about this is that, you know, once people see this, they become inadvertently ambassadors without knowing it. And they just start pressing it out to others and others. And it just grows. You know, we're at 11,000, almost 11,000 people, I think, on our page. But I bet, you know, we've had each quarter roughly 250,000 to 350,000 interactions. So that's just going like, there's no way that just those 11,000 people are doing it. It's additional interactions. And that means it's just blossoming out and out and further. And we're affecting people inadvertently or personally. And I love it. I love that it's just spreading.
And you're
And
not,
that's the hope.
and you're not accounting for word of mouth either. Because I know that's what we've learned.
Exactly. Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
learned
We're just going off of electronic data. That's just data collected on Facebook. That's letting us know the interactions. We're not doing like, you know, me talking to my airmen or my other flight chiefs and everything and spreading the word out and going like, hey, you can't account for those interactions because they're not data collected. You know, that's just even more blossoming. And I love that it just spreading and spreading and spreading. And that's what I want to continue to see. And you know, we have our things that we do every year with ruck marches and stuff like that. You know, there's things that we do every year, you know, quarterly and monthly that we push out, and that's even more the bigger spread of information. Like, hey, just reach out to somebody, and you've got it. You know, you've got the support on the pages, you got the support of your peers, the supervisors, mentors, up and down. You know, and I'll say that's pretty much my quote over and over and over again is you've got this pool, this large pool of people that are there for you. You may not even know them, but somebody is there to help you. And somebody, like, it can be our team members, it can be an anonymous message, it can be, you know, just word of mouth, like you're saying, like, hey, there's somebody. And the more that we spread, that's my hope. Just keep spreading, because that means, you know, that in your darkest moment you have somebody to talk to about anything, because somebody on that page will relate to you and be able to push you through it if we can't. So
What about you, Andrew? What you got?
So, excuse me, I am so sorry. So like we discussed earlier with the big mental health aspect, I've seen it firsthand. Every security forces tenant unit that I've been a part of, I've seen it where it's impacted, you know, members, or maybe members are going through things, or defenders that, you know, have spoken out to somebody and they've been told, oh, well, you've told us that, you know, you've had these thoughts, you're not going to arm up now. And I've personally been a part of the process of stripping people's AFSCs. I've literally had to fight to get people AFSCs, so they don't get kicked out of the military. And being a part of that process, or even seeing the inside of it, you get a whole newfound respect, you know, not only just for the people that are going through things, but for the people that are on the other side of it. So you see the both sides, you know, you see the commander's aspect and the higher leadership, but you also see the member who is being told they can't arm up. And it breaks their heart, because a lot of defenders, they love being defenders. You will have the people that, yes, you know, they were forced in that AFSC and they don't like it. And unfortunately, that, you know, that tends to be the stigma. You know, you get the people, oh, well, you know, they're being med boarded because, well, they just don't want to be in the AFSC. Most of the time, that's not the case. A lot of people that are being told they're being med boarded or that are being forced into another AFSC, it's not by choice, it's by force. And it's not fair. Like I said, I've seen it firsthand, and to be able to hopefully break the stigma with, this initiative, it brings happiness. It brings joy to me to know that, we might be that change where, just even like I said, even if it's just that one airman or defender that, maybe they're even going through a breakup, the airmen, especially that come out of college or high school, they're 18, 19 something year old, individuals who, most of the time, they're not even fully developed yet. They've never been through a relationship. They never experienced a death. Most of them have never experienced a breakup. And, not only are you forcing them into a different part of the world, potentially, they're around the world in England and Germany and France, wherever they're at. Now they're being, forced through maybe a death in the family or, 12-hour shifts, something they may not have experienced before. And it's a lot for an airman to take in. Even an NCO, maybe an NCO who's only been stateside. Now, not only are they being forced overseas, but, maybe they have a dog or something, or maybe, their mom or dad or pop has died, things that they've never been through. And I think that the old Air Force mindset or even military mindset of, just tough it out, that's a bad mindset to have. That's how people get burnt out. And I know personally, I have just toughed it out and I've burnt myself out real fast. You can't just tough it out. You have to, there's sometimes where you have to take a tactical knee. And that's what we're pushing is, it's okay to take that knee. It's okay to tell your flight chief, say, hey, sir, I can still work today, but I can't arm up. I need to go talk to somebody. I need to vent, I need to do something, but I need time to just decompress. And that's why I try to push, through the Instagram page, just small snippets that might, somebody might be flicking through while they're on post or something, and they might see that and be like, wow, you're right. I need to focus on me. Self-time or me time, it's constant. It doesn't end. Even if this job never ends, I still need to make time for me. And that's what I really like.
True story. And I think that what I would like to see if I had a magic wand is, the standard airman coming into BMC and initially being receiving not just your standard courses of financials and all that, but eventually like the mental health aspect. I'd love them to have those conversations from the top. Like, yes, we're building you up and breaking you down, trying to make you to an airman, but also understand that, like, coming from a civilian aspect, of just like basically off the street to coming into the military, it's such a mental change that not everybody can handle that fire hose type of thing.
Exactly.
Then going to tech school, then going to that first organization, and you got everybody else that's kind of been in it already, grinding, and saying, hey, all right, get in, let's get in it. And you're kind of your mind is kind of blown off of that, but if anything, would like these conversations to be normalized. And I don't know if y'all agree, but I do think we're in a better place. We are better at those conversations are coming out a little bit more. Like now we're having them in person, you know what I mean? Or at least like publicly. Now it's like, okay, it's okay to have publicly those type of things. And
Exactly.
we're not going to define you by that. We're just going to be like, cool, we're all with one big happy family, dealing in this stuff together, for sure. So that's my take on that. So let's talk about this half strategy. So I saw on the page, on the Brave Badge page, you guys are doing big things at the Air Force level. And so kind of give the people an idea of what it is that y'all are working on.
Yeah, that's great. So one of the things that we're really, really grateful for is we've had key people at very strategic, very big positions that since day one have been behind us and have supported us. So I give my beret off to retired Chief Master Sergeant Todd Simmons, the prior Air University Command Chief, the PACAF Command Chief, Chief Master Sergeant Dave Wolf, and many other chiefs that are out there.
You guys are doing big things at the Air Force level. Oh shoot! And so kind of sorry. I don't know what's going on. So go ahead.
So we've had really key people that have pushed us and have been able to spread our mission at big levels. And one of the biggest things that we were able to do was talk directly with the career field manager for security forces, Chief Master Sergeant Lewis, and we talked with him, and he's got to see what our platform does, and we're actually going to be having another meeting with him soon, which is great. But the doorway, we already had our name in the threshold of half, and the key Air Force leadership for a few years, because I've talked directly with Chief Wright about our initiative, and there's other people that kind of know who we are, and being supported by previous Chief Master Sergeants of the Air Force that follow our page is huge too. So we kind of had our name already out there, which was great. But when the opportunity came, there was a veteran that contacted us who was going to have a meeting with the Strategic Partnership Division and Chief Bass. And he invited us to come to the meeting, and we were grateful for the opportunity. We went to the meeting. Sadly, Chief Bass could not attend that day. There was something that came up, but we still had the meeting with A1Z. So we had this like 2-hour meeting with A1Z, and the impression, they had no idea what our footprint was and how large we were. And they just kept asking questions and seeing what we were doing. And the impression was that they were just immensely grateful that we were having this type of platform providing these services. And it was it was a breakthrough moment for them and for us. So what came from that meeting, that just incredible approach, was they told us some things that they were currently working on for the Air Force to provide to total force airmen. And then they opened the doorway for us to provide what we think what they should pursue, what would be great. So we gave them like 6 lines of opportunity of things that they can kind of look at, assess, and that may be good resources for the Air Force. When they got those, they were like, wow, these are great ideas. We didn't know that people wanted to see stuff like this. So they looked at those. Now they have those recorded. It looks like they're looking into some of those, but then they returned the ball back and said, we need your help with something now. And they were charged by the CSAF, by General Brown, to look at policies and AFIs that are barriers for airmen to seek help and to seek professional assistance. And it is literally looking at excerpts and policies and AFIs that if a member reads them and does their homework prior to seeking a resource or counseling, they can look at them and say, oh, that's going to affect my career. That's going to affect my next EPR. That's going to affect promotion. I'm not going to seek help now. So what we did is we looked at our community and said, we need your help now. We're going to collect this data. We're going to collect these AFIs and these policies. We're going to collect everything we have and provide this back to A1C and say, these are exact excerpts that when interpreted, they are harming the ability for someone to go seek the help that is right there to get better. So we'll be providing that data to A1Z here in the next few weeks after we finalize everything, because we want to make sure that they see the whole picture of how at different levels and different tiers of being an Air Force member, it's interpreted as an airman, it's interpreted as a supervisor, it's interpreted as a senior NCO. So we're collecting that, we're pushing that back, but that partnership alone, now to have a partnership with A1Z and the Brave Badge Initiative, that is going to not only benefit defenders, but it's going to benefit all airmen across the globe. So just to be kind of like the middleman in that, and to be like a little bit of a tool of that, to help Headquarters Air Force, is an incredible opportunity. It's a blessing for our team, and it's just an awesome opportunity to take on.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Huge. I mean, because I don't know how many people we see on the page or even in life face to face that have those type of reservations. Therefore, thank goodness for AFWO Brave Badge Initiative to where they can go to those type of resources. But we still want them to have the opportunity to seek the professionals too, with no repercussions. Like that would be the ideal situation.
Right.
So keep us posted about that.
Yeah, of course, absolutely.
Because I'm telling you, like it is, reservations and the stigma, man. If we can get ahead of that, if we can get some of that verbiage changed, I'm telling you, thousands, hundreds of lives will be changed.
Absolutely.
Family members, service members, retirees, veterans, like no matter what status you would be in, you would definitely benefit from that. Okay, so I also want to touch on the poll. I saw a poll that you guys did on the page about how family affects suicide attempts. What made y'all ask that question? And for full, kind of purview, if not everybody's following that page, they did a page to their membership asking, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong about this, is family, having an effect on someone who has suicidal ideations or like wants to attempt? Is that kind of the premise?
Yeah, it is. So we do polls every single month. This is one of the cornerstones in the services that we provide. The idea behind doing our polls is not only to gather data to route up and to up channel, but it's also for people to have this kind of not debate, but to find some really middle ground as to what people are thinking and how they think about it. Like these big things, we've done polls since we've started. And if any yourself, Drea, but any of the followers in the AFWO community, if you go to our albums and go to our photos, we post when the poll is done, we post a picture of the graph chart that shows what the data is. You will see polls from 2019 that are thousands of votes, because we post conversations of saying, is suicide a selfish act? We post things that say, what are one of the biggest things that affect security forces suicides? Is it alcohol and drug abuse? Or is it duty obligations, long hours, deployments? We have these polls with you. We do it all the time. And we have a long list of polls that we're going to do in the future. So we'll be doing a poll later on this month, one in May, every single month. The idea of that poll was to actually help support and collect the data to give to A1Z for them to see what kind of things are out there that make people look at suicide differently. Is the family left behind? Is there really, did they not have family at the time? Because some of the victims and the people that we honor on our platform, which is something we provide too, we always do, anytime we have someone that's currently serving that has passed away, we do a badge for them and we honor them and share them across the social media community. So we are able to look and we gather this data of, okay, did they have family? Did they have sons, daughters? Were they married at the time? And did that potentially affect? Were they going through a divorce at the time? If they were single, did they not have anybody there that they could turn to? So the reason behind that was to literally kind of get people to see, okay, it's not always going to be that, because we had a father that committed suicide in 2018 that had 2 daughters, and we've had other members that were, of course, single airmen that committed suicide, but it has also been people that literally were going through something that, even though they had loved ones that would be left behind, they still went through with their suicide. But there is the caveat that family does affect suicide, because if you have a person that's going through something and they're thinking about everything they're going through, the thought of their loved ones being left behind, kind of that thought of like, what is life going to be like for them afterwards? There's a huge conversation in that, and it does. So for us to kind of launch that poll and for defenders to be able to have that conversation saying it does or it doesn't, we want people to assess that so that supervisors and squadron leaders can kind of see, okay, if I know this member is going through something and they're seeking mental health, do they have immediate loved ones though that they go home to every day? If they don't, we need to do our best as a team and as a community to provide that for them. We need to be with them every day. We need to take them out to lunch. We need to keep them busy on the weekends. We need to show that even though they don't have daughters or sons or spouses, they've got brothers and sisters that wear the beret that are there, that are their family. So it's just this conversation piece that we provide constantly. And we're looking to do another poll here soon. And so I hope your community looks at that as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I am interested in that, possibly for our own platform, just because it's hard to get the data without obviously being able to see every face, talk to every person, versus, just click yes or no. And then ultimately we'll be able to get information that way.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'd love for us to be able to share those polls.
Oh,
reaching out, like going from our group and just sharing a poll onto yours. And then, there's just additional data collected right there.
oh yeah. I
It
mean,
doesn't
like I
have to
said,
be
let's,
vendor driven either.
I definitely think it can be a collaborative effort between us because obviously, y'all are a piece of what AFWO is trying to do, and then you're ultimately affecting AFWO in our community too, while you're, especially with this AFI thing, it's definitely gonna affect a lot more people.
Oh,
So
absolutely.
we'll talk offline about that one. So let's talk about y'all individually. I always ask my guests, okay? I always ask my guests about inspiration to live because, suicide is one of those things where, a lot of people may not feel like they have purpose or feel like they have reasons to be here. And so I have my guests share that just for some perspective. So why don't you go first, Andrew? What is your inspiration to live?
Um, that's a really good question. That's a really great question. I think it's the same reason why I would like to be a cop or even be a police officer in the civilian sector. And it all boils down to doing something meaningful with my life and helping others. I My reason to live is I want to affect somebody, even if it's just one person, one buddy. Um, to know that I made an impact on that person's trajectory in this world makes me happy. To know that I put a smile on somebody's face, or to know that I took a little bit of stress off their back, or to know that I gave them satisfaction of a job well done. Any number one of those makes me happy. And when we're directly related to the Brave Badge Initiative, coming from a fairly fresh staff sergeant perspective, that's where most of my inspiration comes from. When I'm sharing all these inspirational quotes and thoughts and things like that, I'm looking at it as what I would have wanted to hear as an airman, what I would have wanted to be told as an airman. So that's where that mindset, or where that positioning is when I share my thoughts and my words of wisdom, so to speak. Um, and also what I want to teach myself as a new staff sergeant in security forces. I want to go in there knowing, and what I want to teach my future, hopefully potentially, flay or airmen, how to deal with the stressors of everyday jobs, not just in security forces, but in daily lives. Um, so that's really my will to live, so to speak.
Okay. What you got, Sean?
Yeah, I love this question. A lot of my stuff when I mentor my airmen and I have talks with my flight and stuff, peers, supervisors above and everything is I don't know, you're in the military and you're constantly grinding, you're stressed out and everything. And I've learned to find happiness. I find that as my key to have that will to live is just to find happiness in every little thing that I do. And I preach to my people, I preach to my airmen that every day is going to be a little battle of something. And if you can find that happiness in it, it just makes everything go away. If you can find that will to be happy about every situation in life, take care of people, be respectful, be humble, enjoy what you're doing, even if it's annoying, find that little glimpse of happiness in it. I, I strive to be happy every day because of my family. I love my kids. I love my wife. I love what I do. I love being around my friends. I love the people I work with. I love doing stuff on my off time, keeping busy. I love my hobbies, and it just makes me happy when I do these things. And I try to preach that to the people around me. I'm like, you're stressed out about nothing. Like, let it go. You know, find something that makes you happy. The situation is not going to end anything. You know, and if you have no power to change the situation, there's no reason to stress on it at all. That's one of the biggest things, and that's why I like to stay humble about so many things, because if I can't change it, then we got to find a way to be happy about it and keep grinding. That's why I tell my people, because I find that they get stressed out about some of the smallest things, and I go like, why are you stressed out? Can you change it right now? No. So then don't worry about it.
Mhm.
Just keep pressing on,
Mhm.
and you'll get through it. You'll be happy. You know, I look at that at marriage too. You know, I'm married to my wife. I'm married to the Air Force, and I'm married to life. You know, there's up and downs and everything. So you have to find the positive in no matter what you're doing to be happy about that stuff. And that, I don't know, that changes my perspective on almost any situation I encounter and I got to tackle. You know, if I can't change it to make it better, then find the positive in the situation and press forward and, you know, ultimately come out happy at the end instead of losing sleep, losing friends, losing relationships, losing career opportunities, you know, losing time because you're not going to get the time back. So I don't know. That's my will is find the positive happiness in the situation and press through it and, you know, make it better because ultimately it comes down to you personally to make that situation, whatever you're in, make it better. Because you're either going to make it really crap and you're going to ride it out and it's going to bug you and you're going to hold on to it. And, you know, and then that kind of leads to, you know, find a person you can talk to. You can't let that stress go for whatever reason, then you need to get that stuff off your chest. You need to find somebody that you can talk to and relate that, you know, even if it's just them to listen, you know, get it off your chest. Find somebody that you're confident and comfortable talking to and get it off so that you can find that positive in the really crappy situations. So
So you're
that's
saying,
my look at
you're saying it's a Frozen type thing. Let it go.
it. Yeah, let it go, you know, get it out, you know,
Yeah.
because you're gonna stress about stuff and then you're just gonna build up. And you know, and that's what a lot of people do. They build up this stress and they keep finding negative and negative, negative, and it just builds up and it's over and over again. And then you're losing sleep. You're fighting with your spouse. You're fighting with your friends. You're fighting with your supervisors, your mentors. You're pissed off at your airmen. You know, you're pissed off by the people above you, and you're snappy and twitchy. And what for? What? Just chill. You
Just
know,
chill, man. Okay. Quote
chill,
that. Just chill. Put it
right?
on the
Just
shirt.
chill. You know, be happy. Yeah, find a reason to smile about something. That makes everything better.
Oh man, I love it. What you got, Kate?
Yo, Dre, how awesome are these guys?
I know, man. I'm just over here, like I'm feeling. I got the. They give me like these good
Yeah.
positive vibes, man. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
What you got? Which you're the icing on the cake at this point. So
No, like I don't know if I'm the ice.
Man with many words.
you can say ditto if you want. You can say what they say.
Man.
You get this guy to freeze up. There's a problem.
Yo, as leaders, it's your leadership path changes constantly. And it changes because of the factors that are around you, but your experiences, your strengths and your weaknesses, the gaps that you have, and how other people kind of fill those in. And so your path changes constantly. And I have learned over the people that have really invested their time and their wisdom into me that there is so much power behind servant leadership. And to be able to come with a work ethic and attitude and a type of way that you carry yourself every day to serve others is one of the most powerful things that we can employ to others. And it, inspiration is part of that, and to be able to inspire people. I tell people all the time when I teach professional development, I teach leadership philosophies, that you can inspire somebody and sell them a thought and sell them some type of mindset, and they can run with it and they can reach new levels of things they never thought they were capable. And I use the analogy all the time of, you go to a church or you go somewhere religious and you see the pastor take off his jacket, run up the aisles, and people are falling down and people are loving and crying, doing all these things, because you can share something so powerful and find the right words, and all of a sudden their life can change once they leave the threshold of the door. And they can reach a whole new beginning. They can start a whole new lifestyle by inspiring them. And I think part of the motivation for me personally is to be a good servant leader and to change people's perspectives every single day. But if I can inspire them with my own testimonies and share things that I've endured and share things that are my struggles, and not wear a mask every day, and to take off my mask and show them who I really am every single day, that's what I want to do. So what we do every day is to serve others, and not only defenders, but airmen holistically. But also, I want to inspire every day. I want people to feel different when they talk to me. I want them to have a little pep in their step. I want them to walk around with the S on their chest, like they are Superman or Superwoman, and they're able to take on everything every single day. So I'll kind of, if I can, like, one of the biggest things, Drea, I'm going to jump one of your questions, but one of my favorite quotes was given to me by a Major Anthony Langdon. He said, the hardest part of leadership is to be able to endure. It's to be able to do so much all the time and to endure everything around you and to come back, find the mindfulness, find connection, and to get ready the next day to serve others. And that's the most powerful thing that I've ever heard in my career.
But I was just looking at I was listening to you talk, but I was looking at Andrew. He was holding on like he was waiting for Kaylin to blow his blow away. And but it's man, that I like the transition. I like all of y'all. Y'all are speaking from your heart. Y'all are giving authenticity. And man, I'm telling you, that's what the Brave badge. I think y'all represent that so well. It's about genuine, real people. You care, whether they somebody down the street. It's just the fact that you just want to save lives. And so that is so relatable to me. And I'll share with y'all my inspiration as well. So I mean, I'm very much similar to y'all, but primarily it's about how do I want to leave my mark on this earth, whether I'm in the military or whether I'm not. What kind of human being do I want to be? I want to be authentic. I want to be realistic. I want to be humble. I want to be when I'm up, when I'm up, when I'm down, like what you see is what you get. I'm gonna walk the walk, I'm gonna talk the talk. But ultimately it's I want to be an influencer and a giver of myself and my thoughts and ideas and my inspirations, but I also want to make sure I keep a little bit for myself so that I can maintain some of that, because ultimately we need to be able to motivate ourselves too, or be able to do it as a two-way street. Find that inspiration in other people as well. So I want to give inspiration, but I also want to receive inspiration as well. So
That's awesome.
that's my little piece of being vulnerable with y'all. So we went into quotes. We already got one from Kaylin, which is the hardest part of leadership is, say that again.
The hardest part of leadership is to be able to endure.
Okay, is to be able to endure. And I will be updating our post with the quotes that y'all give. What you got, Sean?
That's a tough one. I have a lot of personal driven quotes, looking out for myself and brothers in arms and sisters in arms and stuff like that. But a lot of men, I say, I tell a lot of people to just stay humble, and that's a very broad spectrum, very quick quote statement, just stay humble.
I mean, but who's to say since it doesn't hit the mark? You know what I mean? Just like y'all
Oh, it
say.
absolutely could. Yeah, that's what I love about it, is that it could. You don't have to be crazy in life. Just be humble and be happy with yourself. Find that happiness. So my quote's more of puzzle pieces put together instead of a direct line from somebody, but it's more of just like a motive in life. I'll just stay humble and be happy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's stay humble, stay brave. I'm telling you, it's something about that. What you got, Andrew?
So my quote, my mom used to tell me when I was a kid, and
What, eat all your vegetables? What did she say?
no, I don't know about all that. All right,
I'm
Brussels
kidding.
sprouts, all that. No, I don't know about all that.
Okay.
So it's a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and I actually had it written down, but unfortunately I'm on my phone, so I can't multitask at the moment. But essentially, it goes on to talk about the Titanic and Noah's Ark, and how you need to try, because the people that built the Ark, it took them, not very long, and the Ark was fine, but the people that built the Titanic sank. You just need to try. You never know unless you try. And that has stuck with me in like everything that I've done in every part of my life. My mom has really given me a lot of inspiration in the daily battles that she goes through with her health, her physical health. And not only that, but also hurdles she's had to overcome in her life. Um, it's really given me the strength to say, wow, there are people out there that have it a lot worse than I do. At least I'm blessed to wake up every morning. I can take a deep breath of air and say, wow, perspective. This is really not that bad. It may, suck, but it's not the end of the world. There are people out there who are, losing their family members to cancer and things like that. But I am able to wake up every day. I am blessed to get my uniform on and go to work. No matter if I do or do not like my job, it's my job. It's what I've been given by the Air Force. It's what I've been tasked to do. And you just need to embrace it, but you also need to try. There might be, a special duty that you want to do. And you might tell yourself, I'm not going to get it. I'm not even going to bother. Try. You might, you might want to go out with somebody. You might really like this person, but you might not, they might not feel me. Try. There is no, you don't know the answer if you never ask. So that's my biggest thing. Like I said earlier, especially as a new NCO, you always have to try, especially if you're airman. If you just tell your airman, well, I didn't ask because yada, 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 or because, well, I'm too scared that they might say no. That's not helping them. You are there for your airmen. You need to try. You need to work hard. Like I said earlier, especially with like taking a tactical knee, if you just say, oh, well, the commander's going to say no, airman Snuffy, just arm up, go and arm up. That's not right. You need to try. You need to reach out and talk to your flight sergeant and say, hey, sir, ma'am, airman Snuffy's not feeling well today. Can he please, take a knee today? They might say, well, no, unfortunately, we've got XYZ mission we've got to get done, but I'll post them somewhere that, they can self-reflect or they can take some time, but we still need them. Cool beans. You never would have known if you never would have asked. So that my mom's always told me that, you need to try, you need to work hard, for what you believe in and what you want. So like I said, I've tried to live by that. There are times when I have not. I think everybody's faltered at some point in their life, and there's times when I have gone back on that, and I just haven't had the strength, the physical, mental, and emotional strength to try. But anytime that I can, I do.
And that's okay. Because I'm gonna tell you, I'll say that for myself, and I'm sure Sean and Kaylin can say the same thing. Is that like, yes, we there are points where we reach decision points where we kind of, hey, maybe that's not the situation right now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe another time, maybe another season, whatever. So, don't even feel like all of us 100% come up with an idea or decision. You know what? I'm just going to go right into the commander's office and I'm going to say, look, we're doing this. You know what I mean? Or something like that versus, a lot of reservations and emotions that come into that play. But I like that. At least, and by all means, please message me the quote after we finish here so that I can make sure we post it on the page.
I absolutely will.
Man, great data points, great inspiration from y'all. So do you guys have any podcast or YouTube or book or audiobook recommendations for the people? You can name one, like pretty much like your number one, if you got one. Anybody.
Let me look real quick because I think I got it.
Or you can always give it to me after. And then Kayla was like, don't ask me right now.
No. I got mine here. I'll share mine. Leaders are readers, right? Like reading does a lot for you. And I have a goal this year that I'm trying to read so many books this year to kind of open up my mind to some other things. But 2 books that immediately come to mind that it's kind of weird. Like I think all of us have books that sometimes hit you at the right times in your life. They just, the book hits you differently because of maybe something you're going through. And 2 books that changed my perspective of leadership. It changed my perspective of life, and it did a lot of things. 2 books is one, Culture Code by Daniel Coyle. Talks about being able to create amazing cultures within small organizations and teams, and what the leaders did there to make these type of traditions that are the values of the team. So Culture Code is one, and another one by Ryan Holiday is The Obstacle of the Way. And it's to be able to look at problems and situations and obstacles that come in your life or your work center or within anything you're going through in life, and to not dread it and to not hate it, but to look at it with a different perspective, saying, this is an opportunity for me to grow. I can learn from this. I can endure this hardship. I can go through this sludge, this bad time. And if I attack it and get through it the right way, I can come out a better person. So 2 huge books that are absolutely amazing, not only for Air Force members, but for leaders at all levels in any climates, is Culture Code and The Obstacle is the Way.
Okay, gotcha. What you got, Sean?
One of my, like, currently right now, I love listening to Jocko Willing.
Oh, yeah.
I love listening to his podcast. Like, I have a book and some of his kid books to read to my kids as they're growing. He is probably the pinnacle of a leader when I look into, how he can dissect and break down leadership. And a lot of it comes down to being a better person and taking that step back and, looking for respect and motivation and drive. And the words that just come out of his mouth, like, if you don't like reading, I know Kalen is a book guy, but I'm not good with words on paper. So I love to listen. And I think, take some time out, listen to some of his stuff, because he hits on a lot of life points and a lot of leadership. And a lot of his stuff is transitioning from the military to the civilian business world. And a lot of that is about understanding people, how to address people, how to tackle difficult situations. And I think that you bring that home to yourself and you find that you take a step back in these situations and break it down a lot easier than blowing up with stress and not understanding how to tackle that situation. So I highly recommend listening to his podcast, read his field manual, get his books on discipline and leadership. And he's got a whole line of kid books to teach your kids to tackle life's incidents in school and growing up, starting out as a 6-year-old all the way up to an adult. He's got all this information to tackle these hard life situations. I think it's just a better approach. So yeah, hit Jocko up.
Yeah, and right on. Way to wrap that up. Hit Jocko up. I got you. Yeah, it's and to be clear, okay, because I'm learning to expand on this question, okay, because all of us receive information in different forms. And so it's just like, look, if it's a TV show you saw, if it's a YouTube you saw, if it's a book, if it's a I don't know, a cassette tape, do people even listen to that anymore? So Kindle or whatever, we receive information in all forms. So by all means, please share that. What you got, Andrew?
So I'm with Sean. I'm not a huge book reader, mostly because I'm just super uber busy. So I mostly throw on Audible, and I no plugs here, but I like it because once you listen to one, it just keeps recommending books to you. And I don't really have any books off the top of my head. Mostly the higher leader, the higher up leaders, whatever chief recommends on the chief reading lists, the big Air Force reading lists. I'll pop them in on Audible and I'll listen to them. So I don't really have any one book to recommend, and I say that because what I might take from a book, somebody else might not be able to. So I think if people pay attention to those reading lists and they just listen to or even just read a small sample from the book, see if it's right for them. Another thing is I throw on YouTube a lot of inspirational speakers on YouTube, sermons, things like that. I just love, a lot of them. Excuse me, pardon me. They do it for me. Whatever they're talking about. Whether it's motivation or focus or inspiration or when I'm trying to find good things to talk about on the page, inspiration to push out to others, I'll pop one of those videos on from YouTube. And just hearing those words, those people that have a lot more experience than I do, or even the shorts, the video shorts about real life situations, there's a really good one about bullying, and you can relate, high school or middle school bullying to being an adult. We have higher leaders who will bully, lower individuals, and how to deal with it and how not to deal with it. So there are a lot of good videos out there on the internet. Like I said, I'm more of a visual person, so I like to watch it. These shorts, these visual shorts, these small movies, if you will, but also ebooks. Like I said, the top leader reading list.
Okay. Like I said, there is no wrong answer here. Okay. We're literally sharing different things. But even Instagram has a few pages. I know for me that I've been following about self-care, self-recovery, about there's one called the Anxiety Healer that has a lot of good posts on there as well. So we'll definitely post your suggestions, post that on this post. What a time to be alive, social media. So we're reaching the conclusion of this. And so this is where I give my guests an opportunity to speak to our audience directly. 39,800 people in AFWO. Okay. You can say whatever, obviously within reason, but if you have anything inspirational to say, or you don't, that's okay too. But this is the point where it's just like, sometimes, different voices, different faces, for sure can give somebody that little boost of energy. So we can start with Kaylin if you have anything.
You mind if I go first? Because I have a short-term memory and I don't want to forget this, because I even wrote part of it down. So I'll lose it in 10 seconds. It'll be gone.
I like the volunteers. Go ahead, Sean. What you got?
My biggest takeaway and advice for anybody is, especially in the military, do not let your career end your life. You don't let going to med or mental health or anything, don't let that stop you from seeking help because you're worried about your career. Your life is worth more than your career is worth. So no matter what you think, no matter what you feel on that and stuff, don't let seeking help end your life because you're worried about it, your career, or something stopping, your workflow. Seek the help and then press on after that. That's my biggest takeaway is, if you're a defender, you're a med, you're any AFSC in this Air Force or civilian world, don't let that stop you from seeking help. No matter the outcome, your life is worth more than your career.
Right on. Okay, what you got, Andrew? I'm gonna save Caleb for last, but I know he got something.
Hey, he's the wisest of us all, so he's like, the bearing the stick. He's got a lot of good words to say.
Y'all all great. Y'all all great. What you got? You got anything, Andrew? It can be one word, it can be 10.
So, it's oh my goodness, I got so many things, and I could sit here for hours and talk.
You don't want to be here for hours.
Yeah, no, I don't want to drag you guys out. I think the big thing is just stop and listen. Take in what everyone says, take in what you see on the internet, positive, of course, not negativity. Reflect on that. How does it relate to your life? If anyone follows us on Instagram, that's what I try to do, is push out, things that make you stop and think, things that you can carry on throughout the day and apply to not just work, but your home life. Work is, of course, never ending. We don't go home. Even when we take the uniform off, the job never stops. Just stop, look, and listen, absorb. Take in what you think you can use to help other people, not only from your personal experiences, but maybe other people's, personal experiences or life experiences, and push that for others. Your airmen, your NCOs, maybe your chief, and you need things to push out to your people. or maybe you're a master sergeant, tech sergeant, and you need something to push out for your flight, or a brand new NCO like I am, and you need something to help you get through the day. Stop, look, and listen. Absorb.
Awesome. I dig that one. Kaylin, what you got?
So I'll say something personally, and then I'll end it like speaking on behalf of our whole team and kind of plug in some of the things that we do in our mission to serve others. But the first thing is for all the growing leaders out there and for all the people that are trying to make an influence on their culture and their teams, there are 4 questions that you can answer every single night. When you self-assess, when you lay your head on your pillow and you're getting ready to sleep and rest for the next day, there are 4 guaranteed questions that you can always answer. And those questions are, what did I do good today? What did I do bad today? Who do I owe an apology to tomorrow? And who do I owe an I love you to tomorrow? Because every single day, the people around us, we have either made a short mistake of not giving them the time or our gratitude, and we owe them an apology for that. But on the caveat, we owe an I love you to the people that are working hard for us, the people that make us better people, and the people that lift us up every single day. So as we self-assess, we can look at the things that we are doing good every single day that are our values and what we need to continue on, and the things that we need to change up and that we need to stop doing, and the things we need to do better at every single day. Those are 4 guaranteed questions we can always do as growing leaders. But on behalf of the whole Brave Badge Initiative, I want to say thank you to Drea. Thank you to AFWO. Thank you for the entire community of AFWO, of what you do, because you make our Air Force better. You make our military community better, and your sacrifices do not go unnoticed. So I'm grateful for you, Drea, and I'm grateful for everything that your team does. It is impactful, it's influential, and it's inspiring. For the entire Brave Badge community and for the entire Air Force community, we want you to know something. You are not alone. You are not alone in the fight. You are not alone in what you struggle with and what you've endured. We are here. We've been here for years. We're going to be here for years. And this team works every single day to be able to provide you resources, to provide you connection to others, and to save you from your darkest moments and the things that are really stopping you from being able to live your day fulfillingly. So every single day, we are working with you in our mindset, with you on our focus. You are our motivation. We see the things that you endure. We see the hardships that you're having to battle through, and you're not alone. We have family members that were left behind that are willing to talk to you. We have veterans that are in our community that are ready to talk to you. Our team is ready to talk with you every single day, and we want to serve you in every capacity that we can. We're a community of a lot of people and a lot of different backgrounds and a lot of hardships, and we have plenty of people that can relate to Air Force members that are struggling. So we're here. Whatever we can do to make you a better person, a better airman, a better leader, and a better connector, that is what we want to provide in every aspect. So whatever we can do to serve you and to help you go through your battles, we're here. But no matter what, just like Sean and what Andrew said, stay brave. Stay in what you're doing and have bravery that you have the ability to get out of it and that you have the ability to be a better person the next day. Your hardship, what you're going through, is only minuscule. It is not going to make your day, your next day, bad if you don't work with others to try and get your recovery. We're here for you, and we love you all.
Amazing. Somebody chopping onions over here because I'm just like, y'all gonna make me cry. But
Told you it's good words.
and no, all of y'all stop, okay? I know that Sean is the short one. He's straight to the point. He's like, hey, it's like a Snapchat. It's gonna go away. and Andrew freestyles, and then Kaylin is the one that's like, you know what? I'm ready. I got it ready, and I got all the words. Y'all make a great dynamic. So yeah. With that being said, I'm gonna say my closing remarks. But first, I want to thank y'all, Sean, Kaylin, Andrew, Brian, who could not be here, the Brave Badge Initiative. Oh my goodness. I just knew that there was something special about y'all, but I did not know that y'all were this special. And so, man, I can't even express the amount of words, but just y'all doing such great work is unreal. And I look forward to watching y'all grow. Another thing I want to shout out is to AFWO, the team, all the admins, I do the AFWO Speaks, but I absolutely am not doing this all by myself. Zach, Albert, Johnny, Richie, both the Ians, Katie, there's James, there's a whole bunch of admin in the background that are approving posts that do all this stuff. So, I mean, I am not going to sit here and take credit for any of this. I just happen to have an idea, but I had people behind me that are willing to support. So thank you for that. So, just a few closing remarks before we close out. Man, I will tell y'all that this is probably one of the best AFWO Speaks I've done, and I'll say that for everyone, but this one in particular because we have two resources on that are absolutely trying to get after this mental health initiative, and I can't emphasize enough that to anyone that is listening within the sound of this Zoom or whatever, that man, this is you do not have to sit there in silence, like Kaylin said. Not to mention the opportunity to grow. Mental health is no longer a something that you don't talk about in public. You keep it in private. Now we are trying to bring it to the forefront, not as a negative thing, but as a positive, because these are all life experiences that we're affected by. Every person on this Zoom right now has had some sort of interaction of some type with either a person who's dealing with it or maybe dealing with themselves, whatever. It has touched our lives in such significant ways. That's what the Brave Badge Initiative is about. That's what AFWO, Air Force Wingman Outreach is about. It's about helping others. It's about getting to the far ends of social media, getting to the far ends of just life in general, because these years, especially after COVID and all that stuff, suicides are on the rise. I recently read an article 2 days ago about suicide being up to, about 300 and something across DOD. And ultimately, can we say it's the pandemic, or can we say that generally our folks are exhausted mentally? They still got issues going on privately in their personal lives that they are not able to deal with as individuals. And granted, are we all really trained? It may not be training. It may just need an ear. Might just need a book. Might need an outlet. Might need a day off. Might need a change in scenery. But we're not going to know unless we ask those questions. Unless we provide that platform that opens up those opportunities for our folks, for people that are in our purview, to feel comfortable to have those conversations, to say, you know what, Drea, I am having thoughts of suicide. Drea, I am having an issue at home and I need to seek help, and I will not have any consequences with that. That's the level of comfort that I'm hoping we can achieve. Anyway, on that note, Air Force Wingman Outreach at gmail.com. And then, of course, we have the Brave Badge Initiative on Facebook. And then I just looked at their Instagram page. So I'm going to go ahead and plug that, which is at the Brave Badge Initiative on Instagram. So please share, like, all that stuff. We're both doing great things. Thank you again to the Brave Badge Initiative crew. And other than that, enjoy the rest of your day, AFWO. We love you. We're glad you're here. Remember, you are not alone. And we're out.